Hello, my Teaserking family. How's everybody today? Hope you're well. I'm coming on a bit early so I can do this now and then. And I'll hit my swim and then I'll do econ in the afternoon. Hey, it works out better. I don't get as tired. It kind of breaks the day up. So, hope you're all well today. A lot going on with Russia and Ukraine, which we'll get to later. Let's see what gold's doing, as we always start with our gold. Not bad. So we know there's a British holiday. So we didn't see the 2 o'clock or 6 o'clock drop, but it only got to 25, 26. And then the U.S. did their derivative. It only knocked it down $10. And now it's on its way back, 25.18. Again, we're staying in the 25s. This is a good sign. Tomorrow is the expiration date. So if we're going to see any real drop, it'll be tomorrow. And then it'll come right back up. And then the rest of the week, we should get close to 2,600. Silver was at 30, 29.84, but it's the 10 o'clock drop, and gold is also the silver drop because they're doing the derivatives at the same time. It's amazing how many people just don't understand, can't understand, or just don't want to, that the market's fixed by derivatives. It's just incredible. Well, the demand for gold went down. You know, I'm listening to Yankee Doodle Dandy yesterday. This guy's an idiot. Please don't listen. He's just there and he says, there's no reason for the gold price to go up. Oh, really? No reason. Not because there's huge demand. No reason, though. See, it's people like that that make a lot of people not, you think, oh, here's this guy. He's got a shop. He must know what he's doing. No. He's clueless. He's just a salesman. Doesn't really get the movements or the free market part of it. I mean, how do you run a business and you don't understand free market economics? And then you don't understand the derivative when you see one. Not a sharp guy. Stay away. I watch it just like he ran out this thing on taxes. Well, that's if Kamala Harris, if she gets elected, if she even does it. Don't sit there and say there's going to be taxes on gold when it's not true. I don't say anything like that. He's just a bullshit guy who's just doing it to get people to watch his videos because his videos suck and he doesn't know what he's doing. That's why you don't see me with the bullshit. I come straight at you. Let's the gold. I'm going to give you exactly what's going on, why it's going up and down. Derivatives, not free market. BRICS, gold back currency in October. You get the realistic, this is what's happening, as if you're learning it with me. Not, I'm going to have a catchy title so you'll watch to see what I'm talking about. We know you don't know what the hell you're talking about. All right. So we'll check in with our gold later in the show because we want it to not drop too much more today. All right, let's look at baseball yesterday. I mean, some of the worst managers I've ever seen. We have Atlanta straight up just for 2 units. It lost. Boston under 9.5, and Tanner Houck pitched like shit. They played a 7-5 game at Arizona, and that's why you got to be careful in Boston to go under. But I thought it was 9.5. It's a big number. Then we get the Yankees over 9. They win 10-3. We have Toronto over 8. They win 8-2. So here we come back. Cleveland under 8, 4-2 game with that good bullpen. We play the Cubbies. Here's where the problem is. The 5 ERA pitcher limits the Cubs to 2 runs, and the 3 ERA pitcher of the Cubs gives Miami 7 runs. This is the problem I'm sharing with you. So be careful with these low ERA pitchers thinking it's an under, and then they give up 10 runs. It's just ridiculous. I have Detroit over 9. That was an easy one. They went 9-4. Kansas City over 10, and it's 11-3. St. Louis, Minnesota over 8. That's a loser. 3-2 with the Cardinals. We have Seattle, which did win 4-3 over the 49ers. Ric Flair 6-2 with the 205. We have the Dodgers. They win 3-1 over Tampa. We have San Diego over 9. They don't get there against the METS Jets. And Houston over 8.5 was our big one, and they get there 6-3. I didn't know they would get there. It was a tight, low-scoring game through the 6th or 7th, and then 6-3. Altuve comes through for us. So when you get that good lineup like Houston, like Philadelphia, the Yankees, you know you're going to get a lot of overs because you know they're going to hit. It's the teams with the 200 hitters that you expect them not to hit, and then they hit. So let's add it up. 0-2, 2-2, 3-2, 3-3, 4-3, 5-3, 5-4, 6-4, 7-4, 8-4, 8-5 day. Pretty fucking good. And hitting the 5 units, Kansas City over, and well, I'm not sure if that was a 5 or a 3, but I know the Houston over 8.5 was the 5 unit. So that's the bottom line. All right, 826. My foot's hurting me today, and I think it might be bone chips because I'm not eating too bad. I had a chicken and ribs the other day, but I didn't have a lot of ribs. And it was a carry out, so when I got home, I used my French ketchup, my French dressing. And I had 1 glass of Dr. Pepper from the gas station just as a treat. And all of a sudden, my foot's killing me. And I'm like, really? It's from 1 glass of pop? But I noticed it the other day, Friday, it was kind of swelling up on me, and I really didn't eat anything. I think I did have a steak earlier in the week, on like Tuesday or Wednesday. So I got to be careful on my meat, or is it a bone spur? So watching our witch doctor, the new doctor I found. She says well, she's got one on castor oil, which I don't know where it is. I thought I liked it. Well, I'm gonna castor oil. Looks like olive oil, and I'm gonna rub it on my foot. She says it gets rid of bone spurs. So I am going to do that and see if it works. She reminds me of our other doctor who has all these remedies.
The DIY baking soda detox bath that soothes the skin and joints.
Help to dissolve abnormal growths and calcifications over time. This natural remedy has been used for centuries.
This is olive oil.
And many have found it helpful
castor oil.
in managing bone spurs, fibroids, cysts, and even tumors. To use castor oil for a bone spur, you can soak a cloth in castor oil and apply it to the affected area, covering it with plastic wrap and a heating pad to enhance absorption. Leave it on for
an hour. So I'm going to try this because certainly, is it really gout? Do I eat like do I have a hamburger and now I'm getting gout? Or I notice when I'm walking the lake, my feet are hurting after. I didn't sleep Saturday night until like 3 in the morning. My foot was throbbing, and I'm thinking, okay, I had a pop, but really? And then I'm taking my Advil and my gout. So I don't know what it is. Is it really gout? And I keep questioning it because I'm getting it far too much. And here I'm just walking the lake, and obviously my feet are hurting. That could be a bone spur. So we're going to try this. An hour a day. I'll just put it on a washcloth and just put it on my foot, and then put it on my other foot, and just watch my YouTube and football and everything. I could even have it on during class, which would be even more clever. All right. So that's your health for today. She also has hair loss. Put castor oil over your eyes, and it's supposed to help if you get glaucoma or cataracts. It's supposed to heal that. So this castor oil is pretty good. We'll have to get into it. We'll talk about this in finance, the money advice every millennial needs, and I'm going to rip this to shreds, as I always do. Then we got to watch this one. This 5 vitamins kills cancer. Well, I know avocado. I just had cayenne pepper, where I poured the cayenne pepper on a spoon and ate it. And man, that's fucking hot. But we will get into that later. Takes about 5 glasses of water to cool your mouth down. Or actually, I did my lemon olive oil mix, and I drank that, and it went away. So we're trying everything here. We got nothing to lose, everything to gain, and we're open-minded, being stoic that we will try it. If it doesn't work, we will say it doesn't work. Like inflation's not prices going up. All right. Well, we do have a 1:00 game today. Kansas City at Cleveland. Oh, interesting matchup here. This is for first place in the division. Cleveland 75-55, KC 72-58. This should be a very good series. KC minus 138. Cole Reagan's 10-8 with the 3-3-1 against Nick Sandlin 7-0 with the 3-8-8. We're going to go under here. Cleveland under 8. And we'll go 3 units. Now, the reason I'm going under, I got 2 pretty good pitchers. I also have that great bullpen of Cleveland. Now, KC, put up a lot of runs yesterday on Philly, but Philly doesn't have Cleveland's bullpen. So if this game is low scoring going into the 7th, it's going to stay low scoring. And I like my starter 7-0 with the 3-8-8. So I'm going to go with that. I think as you get into the bigger games, it's the guys start choking and tightening up. It's for first place, and let's get tight. So we'll see what happens. So I like this game under. Houston goes to Philly, another great series. Philly 165-8. Ronald Blacko 9-6 with the 314, and Zach Wheeler 12-6 with the 273. We got 2 aces going. What do we do? I wanted to go over when I first saw this, but this isn't the game to go over. Although Blanco has not been pitching well since that no-hitter, he's not shutting them out. And Zach Wheeler 12-6 with the 273. Pretty good. So superficially on top, 314 against 273. This is an under, but it's Philly and Houston. We got to go to the bullpen. And the bullpen says Houston 3.57 and Philly with a 4.16 edge Houston. I won't bet Philly to win. I'm going to go under, but I really hate going under in Philadelphia games. Philly under 8. I'm just going to do 2 units, real light. you've got to be, here's where you got to be stoic. You've thought about your method of picking, and you say it's going to be the starting pitchers. Figure 6 innings with these guys, and then we'll go to the bullpens. And then we'll look at hitting, because good pitching can stop good hitting. And if these guys pitch really well, Blanco pitches the way he can, and Zach Wheeler pitches the way he can, this could be a 2-1 game. They did have low-scoring games with Atlanta, Philadelphia last weekend. So they're going to have their hands full with a good pitch. I'm sure Blanco is going to be up for this game against Philly. Philly is 76-54, Houston 70-60. So this is a great game. This is a game I would go to, right? I don't go to baseball games. I'd go to this one, and I'd bet on the under and hope there's no scoring in the game. All right, the Cubs at the Pirates. Luke's probably going to this one. We got James Talion, 8-8 with the 3.77 against Mitch Keller, 11-7, 3.76. What do we do? Now here's where we got to go to the bullpen and the batting averages. The Cubbies 362 and the Pirates with a 426. Pirates at 234 at home. The Cubbies at 241. So they don't really hit that well, but they could hit enough. And then it's what do you want to do with the 3.77 pitchers? They're both 3.77s. One's 11-7, one's 8-8. It's at Pittsburgh. I just don't know what to do with like Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. I don't know how to play them. So I don't know, 8.5. I'm going to leave it alone, but I would think this should be under with the 3.7 ERAs. But, they're high enough that they could give up 7 runs, and they're low enough they could shut you out. I don't like betting like that. Kansas City, Cleveland. Oh, a doubleheader. We got Cleveland minus 120 this time. Alec Mars, 7-7, 4.71 against Logan Allen. Now here is where you'd probably go over. If it's a close game in game 1, they're going to put their ace in, and then are they going to, and then he's used up. Are they going to use him in the second game? I would, because it's the same day. Your arm's fine the same day. Your arm gets sore the next day, but the same day, you got the adrenaline, the heat. Nah, I'd go it. So, well, we got the first game. Let's pass on this. This one should be an over. Yeah, let's go. We'll go over. So we'll go Cleveland over 8.5. Game number 2. We'll go 3 units. And who is texting me? It's funny, I'm in the car yesterday and Daria WhatsApps me. So I send a picture that I'm in here's the road that I'm driving and I can't tell. As they say in Europe, I'm a clever boy. Not smart, but clever. And Jenna. All right. Sorry about that, but you know my ordeals. My girls are in Europe, so Now it's like late afternoon for him. All right, we got the Yankees at Washington. We got the Yankees minus 190 and 9. Nestor Cortez 7-10 with the 4 ERA. Mitchell Parker, who I swore pitched yesterday, 7-7 with the 4.26. We got to go over with the Yankees. They'll do it all by themselves. Over 9 versus taking the Yankees at minus 190. I think the 9 is less than the 190. So we're going to get the Yankees there. We'll go 3 units. Toronto at Boston. We got Boston 160 and 9. Jose Barros 12-9, 3.79. He has Nick Pivetta 5-8 with the 4.70. We're going to go over with Boston and Fenway this time. 2 units. All the health foods: avocado, cayenne pepper, ginger, lemon. I should be very healthy. So why the hell is my foot bothering me? All right. So we did Boston. Atlanta, Minnesota. Atlanta's 105.8, so it's even. Max Fried 7-7 with 3.57. Bailey Ober 12-5 with a 3.54. We're gonna go under here. Atlanta's got a lot of injuries. They don't hit mini under 8. And we'll go 3 units on that. San Diego, St. Louis. St. Louis 120 and 9. Randy Vasquez 3-6 with the 4.63. Kyle Gibson 7-5 with the 4.22. Should be an over here. So we'll go San Diego over 9. Unlike football, where we won't do that. Harbaugh's got that team so screwed up. He doesn't play Purdue and Indiana. I mean, just run it. You don't have Herbert. You don't have receivers. What are you doing, man? Detroit against the White Sox. The White Sox are horrible. I mean, I know they're 31 and 100, but they're a bad 31 and 100. How they won 31 games? They can't hit. They can't field. Their pitching sucks. Oh my God! And see what's misleading is the Tiger hitters will hit well, only because they're lefties facing a righty, right? So this is the genius of the manager. If it's a righty pitching, he stacks the lineup with lefties. But as soon as the lefty comes in, he takes them all out and puts righties in because the lefties can't hit lefties, and he won't hit them against lefties. Strangest manager I've ever seen in my life. And they're just young. They're minor leaguers, so he doesn't want to hurt their confidence, whatever the fuck. Dude, either they can play or they can't. They don't need this bullshit. So it's a joke. So the batting averages of the guys on the Tigers who hit 250, 260 is fake because they're only doing it against right-handed pitching. As soon as that's why you see these strange pitch hitting. So we're taking out a 260 guy for a guy hitting 180 because the lefty came out and now he's got a right-handed hitter to go against the lefty because the lefty is hitting 260 really is hitting, 110. If he played against lefties, he'd be hitting like 180. So it's all misleading. This Tiger manager needs to be fired with the Seattle manager. He's fucking clueless. And if it's so good, why is he 65 and 66? And then his starting the bullpen guy here, Ty Madden, just brought up from the minor leagues. I heard yesterday. Oh well, he'll be a superstar. Davis Martin 0-2 with the 3-2. You got to take Detroit, even with this guy. Who knows? Ty Madden, was he related to John Madden? First start, but it's Chicago White Sox. They're a minor league team. So the whole thing in the majors, 90% of it's minor league play. So just go to the minor league, go to Toledo, where Detroit has their minor league team, and watch that, because it's better than this crap. This is a joke. I mean, Chicago, why are you rewarding Chicago 31 and 100? They should not get any revenue. Revenue sharing should be based on your record. Then you wouldn't see teams with 31. I mean, they're just terrible. They have no hitting. The pitching sucks. The pitchers are minor leaguers. This one guy he kept walking the guys yesterday. It's really just ridiculous. There's too many pitchers that are not good in baseball. And you can see it. And the product absolutely blows. I mean, at least you see it in college football. You got your Cam Risings, you got your guys that are really good that should be in the pros, and then you've got here, you don't really see the minor league teams. So you don't really know how bad they are. But if you watch the Tigers and the White Sox, you're going to see minor league baseball. All right, Miami and Colorado. Miami 110, but we don't have pitchers. Tampa Bay, Seattle minus 135 and 7. Ryan Peapout 7-5 with the 3.65, and Bryce Miller 9-7 with the 3.32. Well, neither of these teams can hit. I'm not going under 7. I'm letting that game go. Toronto, Boston's got a suspended game, I guess, from yesterday. Who cares? All right, so let's look at it. We got Cleveland in game 1 under 8. We got Philly under 8, which be careful. We got Cleveland in game 2 over 8.5. Yankees over 9, 3 units. Boston over 9, 2 units. Minnesota under 8, 3 units. San Diego over 9, 2 units. And Detroit, with the high school pitcher going, still can beat Chicago, who just blows. I think the way you bet Detroit, if the pitcher's right-handed, they're going to load their lineup with lefties who hit about 250 left-handed, and they're going to score some runs. I've never seen like this guy Carpenter. You think he's a good hitter, and then you watch what he hits, and the guy puts it right down the middle of the plate. Oh yeah, he's a great hitter, because the pitchers they're facing are so bad that, yeah, that's why Detroit's hitting. Then you'll see him place a good pitcher, and they get 2 hits. It reminds me of football when Oklahoma plays, Tennessee State, and they win 77-0. Are you impressed? No, it's a high school team. So you got to be careful with that. All right, that's baseball for today. Let's look at pro football yesterday, and we'll look at week 1's lines. So we had, let's start with Seattle and Cleveland. I don't know if that was Saturday night or yesterday. Seattle wins 37-33. I know they got my man Kenny McIntosh from Georgia. Stud. Let's see. So Cleveland, Todd Huntley from Utah, 17-22, 146 yards and 3 touchdowns. Wow. Maybe he's Thompson Robinson, 11-20, 115 yards and a touch. Jameis Winston, why is he there? 6 of 9 with the sack, 63 yards. What are you wasting your time with him? You need reps. Deshaun Watson, forget about him. He ain't playing. So you're going to start Thompson Robinson, and then Huntley looks like a good backup. What are you fucking around with Winston for? He's got experience. Yeah, he threw how many interceptions at Tampa and New Orleans? Yeah, he's a great quarterback. That's why he couldn't stay with Tampa or New Orleans. Now what? He's going to be better on your team? Well, at least he's got experience. Yeah, I don't want his type of experience. That's like a pitcher with a 15 ERA saying, well, at least he's got experience in the major leagues. All right, so Cleveland, Watson's still injured. He doesn't want to be there. They're guaranteed his money, which is they're a bunch of idiots. It's got to be these contracts in football should be performance based. I'm going to give you very little. I'm going to give you if you throw for so many touchdowns and so many yards, so many interceptions, you get $5 million. We win our division, you get $5 million. We win a playoff game, you get $5 million. We win the Super Bowl, you get $10 more million. And if you don't do any of that, you make $100,000. If you don't like it, go work at the grocery store. That's how you got to do it. You got to incentive base these guys. Then you'd see Deshaun Watson playing. Now he's like, oh, my money's guaranteed. Thanks. My shoulder hurts. I can't play. What a joke. Seattle, Geno Smith, 4 of 5, 62 yards and a touchdown. PJ Walker from Temple, 7 of 10, 49 yards. See, here's the thing. We look at Geno Smith, 4 of 5 for 62 yards. So he's throwing the ball down the field. PJ Walker, 7 of 10 for 49 yards. He's just dumping it. And Thurston Howell III, 6 of 9 for 45 yards. So he's just as bad as Walker with 2 sacks. So they better hope Geno Smith doesn't go down. And even with Geno Smith is a backup. He's not a starter. That's why Seattle doesn't do well. That's why Coach Pete got fucked. He had to go with Geno Smith. At least with Russell Wilson, he got to the Super Bowl twice. He won the Super Bowl. That's why I say it's not necessarily the coach. It's the hand you're dealt with. So here comes the USC defensive coordinator or the UCLA defensive coordinator to USC. Like he's going to get USC's defense down to 14. It's the cards you're dealt with. Do you have any defense at all? I doubt it. LSU's going to light them up. And USC will probably light up LSU. Well, I don't know. You got these new quarterbacks. That's why you got to be careful the first few weeks. Rushing the ball. Nobody did anything. Kenny McIntosh, 1 rush, 56 yards and a touchdown. My boy from Georgia. Just draft Georgia guys. I don't know what they fuck around with these Alabama guys for. And he's not even like you've got Charbonnet from UCLA. You've got Kenny Walker from Michigan State as their starter. So what are you going to do with McIntosh? And yet he's just as good as those. Receiving, I don't know any receivers on Cleveland and Seattle. Smith Najiba, 2 for 32. DK Metcalf, 1 for 21, got the touchdown. Laviska Shenault, very good, 2 for 18. Kenny McIntosh, 1 for 9. Bobo, I think he's from Georgia, 1 of 5. So overall, I mean, it's all third, fourth string defense. And as Gregor John says, what's the point of the preseason game? It's really supposed to get the starters' timing down. That's what it should be used for, not to play your four-string quarterback who will never play. You're going to cut. I don't know when the cut downs are. I think soon. I'll Google that in a minute. Tennessee 30, New Orleans 27. I gave you that one. That's a winner because we had New Orleans as a home dog, but you got Hayner and Rattler, so you don't have a bad quarterback. Well, Rattler's not that good. Let's see. Tennessee, Will Levis, 7 of 8, 118 yards. So at least he got 118 yards. Well, what worries me is, what I analyze is there's no touchdowns. So they get in the red zone and he falls apart, and it's bullshit. Mason Rudolph from Oklahoma State was on Pittsburgh's. Now Tennessee's back up. 11 of 15, 114 yards. Pretty good. Then you got Malik Willis, 3 of 4 with 2 touchdowns. Not sure how that happened. He's the running guy. You know, I can't throw. I'm going to run the ball. And, we'll see. New Orleans, Spencer Rattler, 7 of 13. No, he does. They said Rattler shines. No, he's not shining. He's 7 of 13 for 100 yards. Pretty bad. Hayner, 8 of 17 for 87 yards. All right. 1 touchdown for Rattler. Tennessee, Shane Haskins from Michigan was injured all last year. 10 rushes, 31 yards. Again, here's Willis, 3 for 29. And nobody else. New Orleans, they did not play Kamara. Tennessee, Calvin Ridley, he's Alabama. He's not good. 2 for 39. And New Orleans, another St. Cloud. I think it's the other St. Cloud's brother from the Lions, 3 for 40. And that's it. So I don't see Kamara. Fairchild, the tight end from Kansas, is really good. So again, what do you make out of this? Well, you know it's going to be Carr, and you know it's going to be Will Levis. I don't know why Will Levis. I don't know what you see when you see Will Levis that you want to make him your starter, that you even drafted him, and that he's even on the team. I don't get this at all. He's not very good. I don't know. It's just mysterious to me. All right, Denver 38, Arizona 12. They look like on a mission. This was on TV, so I could stomach about maybe a quarter of it. I didn't see Bo Nix. I missed it. He was on early. Zach Wilson. He looked much better under Sean Payton's offense than he did under the Jet offense. Arizona, Clayton Tune and Desmond Riddler. Clayton Tune sucks. Desmond Ritter, okay, he's, an emergency. 10 of 16, 111 yards. Nobody with a touchdown. Tune with an interception. And then for Denver, Zach Wilson, 16 of 25 for 251 yards. 2 touchdowns, sacked 4 times. Stidham, 2 of 4, no Bo Nix. Okay. Is Zach Wilson any good? Well, he's doing it against Arizona, who doesn't have a defense anyway, but he's doing it against 3rd and 4th string Arizona. So it's really totally misleading. It's like the Tigers hitting the minor league pitcher of the White Sox with the 10 ERA, and you're impressed, going, "Oh well, they got 13 hits." Yeah, the guy couldn't get my daughters out in fast pitch. Come on. My daughters can hit pretty well. All right. Rushing. Hunts Hall, 19 of 59 for Arizona. Denver. I don't know any of these names. Esteen from Notre Dame, 5 for 18. That's good. You get him out there a little. Receiving. Whiteheart. Sounds like a guy in one of these movies. 4 for 35 for Arizona. And Where's Marvin Harrison Jr.? He's all set. He knows the playbook. He's there. He wasn't there at Ohio State. If it wasn't from that idiot Gus Johnson, Maserati Marv, nobody would even know who he is. See, he sells them like he's good, and we'll see. He won't be any good. Yeah, maybe he'll be okay, but if he's any good, they'll double team him. And he's no CeeDee Lamb, he's no Jefferson or Chase. Come on, that's silly. Denver, don't know any of these receivers. We'll find out. So Denver puts up 38. How does Denver put up 30? How many pick sixes were there? Well, they got 24 in the second half. Here you go. So Lavelle Bailey intercepted Clayton Tune for 94-yard touchdown. Zach Wilson passed to Brandon Johnson for 46 yards. Zach Wilson rushed up the middle for a 1-yard touchdown. Zach Wilson passed to Nate Atkins for a 1-yard touchdown. I don't know. And the last game, I love this one. Washington was getting points from New England. How New England is a 6-point favorite over anybody, I can't understand. They're clearly the worst. Carolina's clearly the worst team, and New England's right there with them. All right, let's take a look. Drake May, 13 of 20 for 126 yards and a touch. Oh, well, he's obviously the rookie of the year. Joe Milton, what is he doing there? 5 of 17. Yeah, that's what he looked like at Tennessee and at Michigan. Jacoby Brissett, 2 of 4. And your starter, which should be, is Zappy, 0 of 1. So they went to Drake May because they don't know. He obviously doesn't look good. He goes out there against, the 4th string? No, he actually started. Okay, so he started in the first. So he played the first half, let's say. Why are you bringing in Joe Milton? He sucks. Full at Tennessee. At what point do you think, well, yeah, that was college, though. He's going to be much better in the pros. So he's just wasting your time. He's taking snaps away from Zappy and Brissett. Drake May is nothing. Even that, 13 of 20 for 126 is nothing special. Washington. So now we got they don't play McDaniel. Marty McSorley, 17 of 21, 125 yards. And Jeff Driscoll, who sucks, 12 of 18. So they're in trouble if Daniel gets hurt. Neither of them are any good. New England, Fenwick, I've heard of out of Oregon as their runner. Oh, Drake May ran 3 times for 17 yards. Well, that's a shame. He sucks. I don't know. Aaron Jones, I've heard of that name. 8 of 19 for Washington. Receiving for New England. Where's my guy from LSU? Boutte didn't play. Washington, I have no idea who they have. So Daniels will rip apart New England. So if you get Washington against that, they'll probably kill the Giants. Good luck with Dallas and Philly. He'll have trouble against Micah Parsons. Philly, I don't know what they're doing. Their coach, Vince Fazio, he was the coach of the Bears. They won like 2 games. Now, he's not their head coach, but does he know anything about defense? He didn't at the Bears. See, the problem I have is the guy's a good defensive coordinator like Steve Spagnuolo. A great defensive coordinator. You make him a head coach. Why? He's not a head coach. He's a defensive coordinator. Then you got all these Shanahan and McVay guys, like the guy coaching Miami. What does he know about coaching? He doesn't know anything. He knows offense. Make him your offensive coordinator. You don't make him the head coach. This is the problem. Tennessee, they did the same thing. They get a offensive type to be the head coach. Well, that'll help Will Levis. Then get him a fucking quarterback coach. Or let this guy be your offensive coordinator. I mean, these are idiots, right? Okay. So let's go to, there is no week 4. Let's go to week 1. Now, what have we learned? Absolutely nothing. As Greg and John said, what's the point of the games? I have no idea. They make no sense to me. I mean, if the quarterback looks good, he's playing the 3rd and 4th string. If he looks bad, it's even worse because he's playing the 3rd or 4th string. You're afraid to get your guys hurt, so the quarterbacks don't play much. The running backs and receivers don't play much, so there's no timing. You have no timing with the quarterback and the runners and the receivers. So you're prepared for week 1 and week 2, week 3. How are you prepared? You fucked up. I'm worried about them getting hurt so they don't play in the game, but they'll play in practice with shorts, no pads, or maybe their own defense to play against, or the inter squad game where there's probably no pads. They're probably not hitting, or don't hit the quarterback, don't blitz, whatever their shit they're doing. So being guarded by the other team is the same as being guarded by your guys because your starter's guarding your receiver. So's the other guy. But it's not a game. It's fucking practice. These guys are not prepared. Now you get a bye. What do you get a bye for? From what? Nobody played. So now you're going to get a bye and get even more rusty. You see these teams in bowl games when they can't even get a first down till the first half's over. There's so many Michigan games when they go to the Rose Bowl, they look like crap until they come out in the second quarter down 17-0, and then they start moving because they've done nothing for the month. You can't lay off this. So basically, you've laid off. Okay, Mahomes played. Lamar didn't play. Is Lamar ready for week 1 against Kansas City? I don't think so. All right, let's go through the line, and then any details I can give you. I can't give you picks. You'll have to go to class or just buy the picks. Now, the pros aren't up yet because this is 2 weeks away, September 5th. College is up, so you can see this week's college games. Go get the picks, or if you want to do a class, we can do a class anytime for them. And then I would do a class. Well, this week we'll have to do a class maybe Thursday night because we got Friday games and Saturday, and then we'll do a class Saturday morning. Just if any line movements and stuff like that. All right. Kansas City 3-46.5 against Baltimore. All we know is last year's defensive stats, so that's what I'll give you. Kansas City 17, Baltimore 17. Lamar against Mahomes, and Baltimore 7-1 as a road dog. So that's all we know about it. We know it looks like they're healthy, Mahomes and Kelsey and those guys. So we will see. KC can't get in their rings, and Baltimore, are they looking? They're looking for revenge, but I don't think that Lamar can get revenge. He's not good enough. Green Bay, Philly. This is Friday night. So that was Thursday. This is Friday night in fucking Brazil. Why are they in Brazil? Philly 1.5, 48.5. We got Love against Hurts. Green Bay's a good road dog, 8-0 in a teaser, of course. And Green Bay had a 21 defense. Philly with a 25 with Matt Patricia. Now they got Vic Fangio, who's not any better. Look for Philly to struggle. Defensively, offensively, they go to Kellen Moore. That depends on Hurts throwing the ball. Can he throw the ball? It's just he's a running quarterback. You got to face it. You can give him receivers all you want, but he can't read defenses and he can't hit the receiver. So it really is mute point. And they finished fine last year going, 1-8 down the stretch. losing to Tampa in the fucking playoff game by 25 points. Yeah, Philly's great. Pitt at Atlanta. Atlanta 2.5, 43. It's going to be Russell Wilson against Kirk Cousins if Cousins is healthy with the Achilles. We will see. Didn't play in the preseason. That's a question mark. Is he going to just walk out there with new teammates? At least if he was on Minnesota, he's used to Jefferson, but here with new teammates, terrible coaching in Atlanta. Penix is the better quarterback, but they'll start Cousins. Pitt with the 19 defense. Atlanta with the 22. We'll see what happens here. Atlanta, I mean, the coach is an idiot, so he'll probably go with Cousins because he's an idiot, because Cousins played before. Yeah, but Cousins sucks. I mean, name something Cousins has done good. Please tell me. What, Michigan State? No, he sucked there. I was shocked he got drafted in the 5th round after Washington took RG3 from Baylor, who was good. But again, that's running the Baylor offense. And that's the problem in the NFL. You're running that's a problem with Alabama and Ohio State and USC, Oklahoma, running the Lincoln Riley, running these offenses. You're running these offenses in college, but you're not running these offenses in pros. You're running a different offense. These guys are, the Alabama, they play such an easy schedule, except for the Georgia game or LSU, that, he pads his stats. It's just fast receivers that the defense doesn't have fast guys. So these guys are wide open. Yeah, he's really ready for the pros. Look at Bryce Young. He did play a little in the last preseason game. Yeah, we saw him last year. Either you got it or you don't. How long did it take Russell Wilson pros? What, one game? Justin Herbert, how long did it take? How about Joe Burrow? How long did it take him to be superstar? Oh, 2 games. So you got Steve Young, who played a whole year, and I think he had 9 touchdowns and 13 picks. He's got it. Oh wait, we need better receivers for him. Why? What kind of receivers did Russell Wilson have? Tom Brady never had receiver except for Randy Moss for 1 year. They always gave him nobodies. The defensive backs. Troy Brown was a safety. Yeah, he'll be the receiver for me. Because they wanted a good defense, so they paid the defense and they paid their line. They never had really good running backs or receivers for Brady. And they didn't pay them. So that's why they were able to win. They did pay their defense. All right, so we will see. Arizona, Buffalo 7-48. Kyler Murray. He's like, oh, nobody, we're going to make the playoffs. Yeah, sure you will, Kyler. Against Josh Allen. Arizona with the 27 defense. Buffalo with an 18, although Von Miller, who knows. Problem is the defense. So Arizona, okay, Murray, let's say he throws. They're looking at the Philadelphia game. Well, we finished good. We beat Philadelphia. I mean, come on. Ohio State would have beat Philadelphia last year. Philadelphia was not a good team at the end there. So to take that victory and say, oh, look how good we are. And what's with all these fucking interviews? I'm watching the game yesterday. Denver and whoever, and they're interviewing the guys during the plays. Like, dude, what are you doing? And it was some nobody. I never heard, some offensive lineman. You're going, I don't care about this guy. Why are you interviewing him, and why are you interviewing him during the play? I want to watch the game. So many distractions. My God. All right, so Buffalo, good home team. Arizona, like I said, probably an over. They might score, no defense. We will see. Tennessee, Chicago. This is the worst line I've seen. Chicago 4.5, 43.5. Both teams had 22 defenses last year, but Tennessee does not have Vrabel anymore, so their defense is going to get worse. They brought in a offensive style coach because they missed the whole concept of Vrabel was we're going to run the ball control it, rest our defense, and win with our defense until he had no quarterback. He was winning with with that terrible quarterback, Sherman or whatever. The Bears with the 22 defense, I don't know, does it get any better? Well, Fields ran a lot, so I don't know. Caleb's not a runner. So it's Caleb against Levis, two crap quarterbacks, 22 defenses, but Tennessee will be worse. I don't know why Chicago's favored. I don't know why people think Caleb's it. They won 5 games at USC in the Pac-12 with this guy. Any good defense, he didn't do shit. What you going to do against this Tennessee defense? Okay, we don't know because Vrabel's not there. If Vrabel was there, he'd have 5-6 sacks, 2 or 3 picks. So again, why are the Bears favored? Why is Caleb starting and favored? I have no idea. Mid Basamia. Well, welcome to the class. You want to talk to me? Okay. Be my guest. You can go ahead and text. If you want to email me, go to teaserking.com where my site is. And you may get my email from there if you want to email me. But you can feel free to talk here unless it gets really strange. Then I won't talk, but go right ahead. You're welcome to talk. New England and Cincinnati. Cincinnati 942.5. We got Joe Burrow against, I don't know, Zappy or Brissett. We've got New England with the 22 defense, but Belichick's gone against Cincinnati with the 23 defense. And you have Burrow now. So we will see. I think Burrow coming back is going to be huge. Houston and Indy. Houston minus 2.5, 48.5. We got Stroud against Richardson. We've got Houston with the 21 defense, Indy with the 24. Neither of these quarterbacks are really any good. They both want to kind of run around a little bit and play street ball. Richardson can't hit the broadside of a barn like Lamar. Stroud, he just wants to roll around and play playground ball and see if somebody's open. Neither of these guys are any good. Jacksonville, Miami. We got Miami 3.5, 48.5. We got Jacksonville with the 22 defense, which I don't agree with. Miami with the 23, and I don't agree with that either. Trevor Lawrence against Tagliabue. Both quarterbacks are average. Tagliabue can throw nice 5-yard passes. Everybody likes how smooth his arm is, but that doesn't make you a quarterback. Lawrence is a terrible thrower. He wants to run a little bit. Tag doesn't run at all. Again, this is the San Francisco towel boy being the coach because he's a good offensive coach. They have no defense. So Miami in big games get killed because they don't have a defense. Defense wins the big games. All right. Carolina, New Orleans. New Orleans 4.5, 40.5. I'm surprised that this line's so small. Carolina with the 25 defense and New Orleans with the 19 defense. Young against Carr. Young is terrible. I guess he's waiting for New Mexico to play or something. Like one of these guys on Alabama's schedule. So Carolina with the 25. New Orleans, I think New Orleans, they got the guy from Kansas, the tight end, as I said, he's a Fairchild. He's very good. Kamara and Olave, very good. Carr, you got Hayner, so that's good. Young, you got Plummer, probably better. Young, because he was the first draft pick, they'll just keep playing him, ignoring that he sucks. Because can't you see what, take a look at what you're seeing, right? What are you looking at? So this is the problem. As I just mentioned, you got Herbert looked good right away. You had Marino look good right away. Montana looked good right away. This guy, after a year, looks like shit. He never improved last year. He can't read a defense. It's a typical Alabama quarterback. You get on me for Alabama. Oh, okay, let's look at Mac Jones. He sucked. Let's look at who else did they have? Jalen Hurts. He sucks. He sucked at Alabama. Then you got Tag. Looks really good in the big games. Buffalo killed him. See, he's like Jared Goff, right? To win the division, Miami had to beat Buffalo, and they lost 52 to 20 with all the turnovers by Tag. That's the point of why I say they stink. You needed him in the big game. He doesn't show up. I don't need him to beat New England. Hell, anybody can beat New England. But I do need him to beat Buffalo, right? Baltimore, Kansas City, 26-7 to Kansas City. They're lucky they got 7. But that's the point. It was a playoff game. They get 7 points. So you're happy with this? Maybe we should sign him to a $50 million contract because we got 7 points on Kansas City. Did you win? No. Well, what's he there for? There to win. Well, he ain't never going to beat Buffaloes or the Kansas Cities or the Cincinnati when Burrow's healthy or the Baltimores. He's good against, the Detroits and the Atlantas, Carolinas he'll do good against. He's not a good quarterback. That's the point. So it's these Alabama, none of them are any good because it's all a system. So is Ohio State. None of them are any good. Look at Fields. He was great at Ohio State. But they're not running the Ohio State system, and he's lost. He can't read a defense. He can't read a blitz. They don't teach him that at Ohio State, I guess. They do teach him that at LSU, Joe Burrow, and now Jalen Daniels. They do teach him at Oregon with Nix and Washington with DeBoer. Now I would say the Alabama quarterbacks will be a whole lot better with DeBoer coaching. Saban was a defensive coordinator, not a head coach and not an offensive coach. The worst game of the week, the Vikings at the Giants. The Giants are 141.5. We got Darnold against Jones, 2 players that have no business being in the NFL. Giants with the 24 defense, Minnesota with the 21. Last year, Minnesota was 5-0 as a road dog, but it doesn't matter because they didn't. Not with Darnold. They're both these quarterbacks are terrible. What are you going to do? You got Danny DeVito as the backup, so bring Danny in. I mean, he's better. Nick Mullins is better at Minnesota. Should be the starter. I mean, he threw a lot of interceptions, but he did throw for a lot of yards against Detroit with their weak defense. So I don't know. I mean, this is a garbage game. Oakland, San Diego. San Diego 3.5, 43.5. We got Minshew against Herbert, if Herbert's ready. We got a 20 defense in Oakland, which will be much better this year, against a 23 defense in San Diego, which will be much better. You got defensive coaches, which is kind of funny because Harbaugh is a quarterback and they don't have good offenses. Look at Michigan. They had to run the ball 60 times a game because they couldn't throw. So we will see. This should be a very good game. And I love that Brock Bowers is on Oakland, not San Diego. It's going to be he'll catch the winning touchdown, and I just love to see that. Denver, Seattle, 4.5, 42.5. Bo Nix against Geno Smith. Bo Nix much better. Both have 24 defenses. Sam Howell, Seattle's backup, it looks like, and then Denver will either be Stidham or the other guy who I can't think of. No, it should be an interesting game. Let's see Bo Nix, game one. Dallas, Cleveland. This is a mess. Cleveland 1.5, 44. I assume Prescott, and I don't know if it's Watson or probably Thompson Robinson. I don't know. I think Watson's done. I don't think they'll play him anymore. So you got Thompson Robinson, and this Huntley looked well. He looked good against the four stringers yesterday. Prescott's terrible. Trey Lance is terrible. Cooper Rush is their best quarterback. Dallas 19 defense with Micah Parsons. Cleveland to 21 with Myles Garrett. We'll see what happens here. I mean, Dallas, I think, is going to suck this year with Prescott. Cleveland, Thompson Robinson and Huntley could be good. They hand the ball to Chubb, and they have a great defense. I don't mind their coach. He seems to be okay. Tampa Bay 441.5 to Washington. We got Daniels against the Baker. Trask is better than the Baker as soon as they get him out there. And Marty McSorley is the backup for Washington. Washington's problem is just like Arizona's, a 31 defense, which I'm sure didn't get any better because they drafted Daniels first, which they should have. And Tampa with the 19 defense. So Tampa, a little better team, decent quarterback, and a good defense. Washington, Daniels, very good quarterback, but no defense. So when you see teams like that, so there's teams like Washington, there's teams like Seattle, there's teams like Arizona. Great offense, no defense. Those are your over teams. All right, you're looking for a lot of points in the game, and you know they won't stop the other team. Then you got teams like the Giants in Minnesota, the Bears, no offense and a good defense. Those are your under teams. All right, Tennessee. Teams without quarterbacks like Daniel Jones and are probably not going to score a lot. They're going to be when they get into the red zone, they won't be able to score touchdowns. There'll be a lot of field goals, which uses up the clock. If the coaches are stupid enough to go for it on fourth down, then it turns into an Army-Navy drive the field, don't get any points, and then go from there. So we will see. So that's where I get the different teams. The A team is Kansas City, Cincinnati, the Jets, if Rodgers plays. Good offense, good defense. Those are A teams. Then you get the Z teams like Carolina, no offense, no defense. And so I just label them so I know what to, I go, oh, which I don't even need to do KC. We know they're the A team. They keep winning the Super Bowl. So you look at them, and so it makes it easier to pick the games. Oh, and I got an A team against the Z team. So if KC's playing Carolina, I'm going to unload on KC because Carolina can't do anything anyway. They don't have a quarterback, and they don't have a defense. But if KC plays Oakland with that killer defense, or now maybe San Diego has a killer defense, if that's the case, then you're going to look at going, well, KC's going to struggle against that tough Oakland defense. And that's the games you worry about, and you don't bet the overs in it, and you worry about taking KC. You really worry, what do I do with this game? Because I can't. Mahomes is not going to have a good game against Oakland or possibly San Diego. Look at him against Baltimore, 17-10. So against certain teams. Look at it against Miami, 26-7, and it was freezing out. KC gets 26 points. Look at him in the Super Bowl. It was tied at 19-all against the good defense in the Niners. See, so against these good teams, you're not going to light up the good teams, but you'll light up the weak defensive teams. That's why I was impressed with Green Bay. They lit up both Dallas and San Francisco Dallas has, with Micah Parsons, to put up 40 points on that defense, as bad as Dak is, and then on the Niners, they put up 30 points on that defense. I mean, that's why the defensive coordinator got fired. He gives up 30 points to the Lions, 30 points to Green Bay, and then loses the Super Bowl. With that defense, they shouldn't be giving up more than 20. So look for that defense to get much better this year. But that's what you're looking for, is the personality of the team. Now, we've used it in teaser trends, but the teaser trends are so fucked up with all the coaches leaving, with all the quarterbacks leaving, that it's very difficult to figure out what to do with these teams. I can't look like San Diego. They had a terrible coach last year. Now they got Harbaugh. I don't think he's much better, but he's a little different. And he wants to run the ball and play defense. This is going to lead to a lot of unders. And then what's their trend going to be? They used to be a great road dog. Now I don't know. So you got to wait and see. So you got to retrend them. Now, certain trends will continue, but you got to retrend them. A lot of it was like Phillip Rivers. So even if they got a new coach, they still were great dogs. He'd still come through at the end and win the game or get the late touchdown for you. He'd move the team with him and Antonio Gates. Now you got Herbert. You got no receivers. You lost Keenan Allen. So now I don't know what the team is. Good defensive team. Okay, fine. But you got no receivers and no running backs. What the fuck are you going to do? So that's why you needed to draft Brock Bowers. That would have solved that. But no, you took an offensive lineman. That's the biggest, incredibly stupid thing by the GMs, are drafting offensive linemen in the first round. What a waste of time. I don't care how good the lineman is. I mean, the Lions, this is how stupid the Lions are. They draft this guy, it's a tackle in the first round, who is a good right tackle, and they paid him $20, $30 million. You don't need the right tackle. You go left, you hand off left. The quarterback needs his blind side covered. It's a waste of time. It's the wrong position. It's the wrong player. You're paying them the wrong salary. You need salary for defense. So you have a great right tackle, but no defense. Well, that's a problem. Then you have a left tackle, okay, and you're paying him $20 million. What are you doing? You don't need great tackle. I'm not sure you need a great left tackle, but you do need a good one. Like when Joe Burrow kept getting sacked by the Niners, or Baltimore kept sacking Purdy because their left tackle sucked. So yes, you need the good left tackle. You don't need the good right tackle. You just need somebody who can get out there and make the plays. So that's really the problem. But you're wasting money on the wrong positions. You just signed Jared Goff to $30 million. He's not worth it. You just signed a right tackle. What do you need a good right tackle for? An adequate right tackle, a $2 million right tackle, a guy from Ohio State. You don't need an all-pro right tackle, and you're going to pay him $20 million. Are you insane? He's not a running back or a receiver. What you need is defense. You gave up 30 points a game. Okay, you love the coach. Why didn't he get rid of the defensive coordinator? That was a critical replacement. They didn't do it. So you think their defense is going to get better because they drafted another guy from Alabama? No. They're going to still be giving up 250 yards a game to Jefferson and Chase and anybody who's any good that defense, because they didn't change their defense. It's simple like that. So funny how the Niners and Georgia get rid of their defensive coordinators because they sucked. The Lions keep theirs. So anyway, so the Lions, we got 3.5, 51 against the Rams. We got Rams with the 22 defense, and they lost Aaron Donald. The Lions with the 30 defense. They didn't lose anybody. Stafford against Goff. Big edge to Stafford. Big edge to Puka and what's the Connor Cook? No, that's the Michigan State quarterback. God, I had the guy's name. Fuck. The other receiver, Cooper Kupp. Sorry. So you got Cooper Kupp and Puka. Detroit with the worst secondary in the league with a terrible defensive coordinator. What are they going to do? I mean, Stafford's going to light him up. You know, he might throw for 500 yards in this game. I mean, at least 350. Look for the Rams to score early enough, and I don't know about Detroit. I don't trust Goff. Just blitz him, and he falls apart, as he showed in the Super Bowl, as he showed in the Utah game to win the Pac-12, and he threw 5 picks, as he did in the second halves of the playoffs where he disappeared. Not a complete quarterback, so good luck with that, Detroit fans. And our last game is the Jets's against the 49ers. The 49ers, 5.5, 45. Rodgers against Purdy. Rodgers, obviously the better quarterback if he's healthy. Jets with the 21 defense. The Niners with an 18. Look for the Niners defense to get stronger with the better defensive coordinator. Look for the Jets to be under 17 in their defense. With Rodgers, the defense will play better because they know they have a chance. And Salah's a great defensive coach. Not sure about a head coach, but let's see what he does with Rodgers. I think they'll make the playoffs. They'll win the division. Buffalo can't handle a good defensive team. New England sucks. Miami, it's a big game. They'll choke. So the Jets should win the division. Get Joe Namath in his fur coat out in November. The key is the defense. See, if Detroit had the Jets defense, then yes, they'd be right up there. They don't. And no team with a bad defense does shit in the playoffs. Miami, how many Super Bowls did Marino win? Oh, yeah, 0. How many did Dan Fouts win? Oh, yeah, 0. How many did Wyatt Tittle win? Well, he didn't win any championships. These good offensive teams, it does. How many Super Bowls did Ray Lewis win without a quarterback? What, 2? That's the key. You need the star's got to be on defense, not on offense, not the quarterback. The quarterback can't be your star. Brady didn't win without a defense. I mean, he should have won every year, right? Why didn't they win? No defense. Then he goes to Tampa with a great defense, and he wins 2 Super Bowls, I think. Mahomes is only good because of the defense. They lost to Brady. They didn't have a defense. Now they got a 17 defense to go with Mahomes. That's why they win the Super Bowl every year. That's the key to it. So there you have it. Picks will be available probably next week. I'll post it. It doesn't start for 2 weeks. We've learned nothing in the preseason except for how stupid the coaches are. To not play players at all in 3 weeks of preseason shows the complete incompetence of the coaches. You've got to get your players ready. You've got to let them get hit. You've got to let them throw the ball with a blitz coming and a strong defense coming at them. And if you're worried about injuries, you're fucked. So are you going to play him in the game? So here comes week 1. So the question is, will Jared Goff play week 1? He could get injured. More than likely, he will get injured because he hasn't seen game speed, nor has he gotten hit. And when he starts seeing the Rams blitz the piss off of him, and he throws his 2 interceptions, and you think St. Cloud's going to be open, like the Rams don't know how to cover. These guys a little tight end, Montgomery, okay, we got a good offensive line. Okay. Goff hasn't seen game speed yet. That's a big mistake. That's a coach that's incompetent. So why not? I'm surprised he played in the playoff game. He might have got hurt against San Francisco. Shouldn't have played him. So I find that with the coaches in baseball and football. Why is there a pitch count in baseball, 100 pitches? What is that? He might get hurt. Oh, again, we're worried about injury. Yet 90% of the pitchers are injured. So what the fuck does that mean? You got 90% of the pitchers injured on a pitch count. So maybe it's not a pitch count. Maybe the guys who know how to pitch should pitch the whole fucking game, not this pitch count shit. You're taking guys out with no hitters because they've reached 100 pitches. Are you insane? You wonder why nobody wants to watch baseball, because that's bullshit. The stop clocks and all that is crazy. Preseason, what are you watching? I'm watching fourth stringers play. I can go watch high school football, at least the starters play here. I can go to I can get more out of a Michigan blue-yellow game or a Michigan State green-white game. At least the starters play. At least I get to see football. This is crap. And you only have 3 games. Why is there a bye next week? And then you have what? You got, we want to have an 18-game season. So wait a minute. You're worried about the health of the player, and then you want an 18-game season like they're not getting pounded enough. And then go have 4 rounds of playoffs. But you're worried about the health of the player. And you have a new kickoff, which is so confusing and so stupid. You're going to get more injuries because the guy has to start and go 5 yards and get hit where he's not ready, versus let him start running from the 35-yard line. At least he's able to move and avoid contact. Here, he's going to run right into the guy, and then you're starting the guys at the 30-yard line. So really what this is about is getting more scoring in the game. So you got to do it backhanded, and it's not going to help you anyway, because the quarterbacks you got are mostly running quarterbacks or athletes who can't throw the ball. So you're not going to get a lot of scoring, because inside the 20, when the field shrinks, there's nothing there. So, it's fortunately I figured it out, so I know how to bet this shit. But I've been looking for a bet, play a defense, because the defense is there. You can't move on a defense. A team like Arizona, Detroit, you're going to score all day. You can't count on them to win. So, I mean, the case in point, the Lions lost to the Bears. Bears put up 38 points with Fields. That's how good your defense is. Fields lit you for 38. And that's my point. I can trust Kansas City and Baltimore and San Francisco, Dallas. These teams with good defenses, I can't trust an offensive team to win a game. All right. College football. Georgia Tech 24, Florida State 21. It's not an upset. The better team won, the better coach won, the better quarterback won. Mike Norvell is an idiot. You got Uglia Buglia, who we've already laughed at Clemson, got laughed out to Oregon State. He's sucked at Oregon State. You expect him to be good now? So what was he doing at Clemson and at Oregon State? He didn't do much. He had terrible stats. He didn't win a lot of games. What did Uglia Buglia do against Oregon? Did they beat Oregon? Did they beat Washington? No. I mean, what do you think this guy's going to do? So he drives them down, gets 3 or 4 field goals in the game, which they lose 24-21. So I think that they got a 2-point conversion on the first drive. Then it was field goal, and then a late touchdown. Against Georgia Tech, who doesn't have a great defense, but they played good defensively because they knew that Uglia Buglia sucked. However, Haynes King looked very good. I love the Georgia Tech coach. Very strong. The defense was a 30, it's still work in progress. But Kings looked good. So Georgia Tech was the better team and won. So it's not a surprise. So I had them. That was pick 1A. And I play them with the game this week. So one of the this week games is with Georgia Tech. So because it was all 1A, 1B, I could play that. The other game, SMU Nevada was a surprise. Nevada, same running quarterback as last year. SMU wasn't prepared, didn't practice it. The game was in Nevada. And so he ran a lot. It was like playing Army. You don't get a lot of possessions. So he would run, get some first down. He threw for 130 yards, ran for like 130. The Nevada quarterback, not very good. They won't win a game this year, probably not. But they were, stoked at home, first week. And SMU, they did come back and win 29-24. Didn't cover 20, 24, 25, 26 points. It moved. SMU with the 17 defense, it was pretty close. Nevada with the 33 defense, well, he gave up about it was about what they did, but it was the running of the Nevada quarterback. They don't have a running attack and they don't have receivers. So it's just the quarterback running. So all you got to do is just key on the quarterback and, play tight coverage. He'll give you 2 or 3 picks. So I had SMU winning big, but I didn't bet it. I didn't like it for week 1. If this is week 5, I might have played it, but didn't like it. Some of the games you got to watch and see what's going on. Is SMU as strong as they were? So I don't know. The 17 defense should have shut them down a little bit more. I was a little surprised by that. We got Minnesota 2.5, 3, 50.5 to North Carolina. Both teams new quarterbacks. Both defenses were 27 last year. That's the 29th. So that's in 3 days. That's Thursday. Jacksonville State, Coastal Carolina. Jacksonville State 2.5 and 57. Returning quarterback for Coastal Carolina. I don't know how good he is, and a new quarterback for Jacksonville State. Rich Rodriguez, the West Virginia coach, the Michigan coach, is now. He went from Michigan to Jacksonville State. How he got a job, I don't know. What did you see at Michigan? He lost like every game. What was so good about him there? They had a 20 defense, which is surprising last year, and Coastal Carolina 25. I don't think I'll see Jacksonville State with a 20 defense this year. Probably like Army, where they ran the ball a lot, so it then made the defense look better than they are. So we'll see. And then we go to the 30th, which is Friday night. Florida Atlantic, Michigan State. Michigan State 11.5, 46.5. They got the Oregon State coach, who's very good. They got the Oregon State freshman quarterback, who we have no idea. Charles. Could even be Jackie Childs. I'm not sure. But you're going to see a good defense like Oregon State had. And Florida Atlantic, we don't know. I mean, they're an E team I got last year, 25 defense, not too bad. Michigan State, do they have the offense? But I think Michigan State will have a very good defense. I think he's got the concepts down. So look for the state to Florida Atlantic to struggle scoring. Let's say it that way. Temple, Oklahoma 42.5 and 60. Temple had Kurt Warner's son. He transferred, I think, to Rice. They're a Z team. New quarterback who's not good. Oklahoma, a new quarterback who's never played before, is one of these running athlete types like Richardson. Temple with the 36 defense. So it's a perfect first game for this Oklahoma quarterback against shit defense. Oklahoma with the 22 defense. If they run this quarterback more, I think their defense will improve because they'll run the time off the clock. I don't know about laying 42 points or a 60. I don't think Temple scores too much. And Oklahoma, I don't know what they'll do. They'll probably score. They'll be in the 30s, maybe the 40s. Hard to say with the new quarterback. We just don't know. Western Michigan and Wisconsin. Wisconsin 24-56. Western got a new transfer quarterback, and Wisconsin got my man Tyler Van Dyke from Miami, who's outstanding. Western with the 32 defense, Wisconsin with the 19. So last year they tried Mordecai from SMU, and he didn't do a whole lot. He looked good on the Niners, though. Here you got Tyler Van Dyke, who we saw was great until Miami got a hold of him. The new coach came in and fucked him up. So we'll see what we got here. But Wisconsin should still have that great defense. Not sure what to do here. Stanford and TCU. Stanford was the Z team last year, 37 points a game on defense. Returning quarterback who sucked. TCU, the spread's 8.5, 61. Sorry about that. And they had a 27 defense. They had Hoover replace the guy who beat Michigan. I can't think of his name, but they look very good. TCU's got a good coach, and they are an explosive team. And I think that'll be shown there. I think when they won they got to the title game, so they're kind of not focused last year. And the quarterback left, Duggan. So Hoover's there, and Hoover, I raved. Oh, he was the starter, and beat out Duggan, and you're like, really? This guy sucked last year. So we'll see if he got any better. I'm sure TCU's prepared with better backups. And I'm sure he recruited better, and they're pissed. They're a good team, TCU, when they want to be. So look for a little bit of more of explosive TCU. Not sure about their defense. It was a 27 defense last year. So at least the quarterbacks are back. And Stanford, I doubt, got any better with their 37 defense. And that's it. So that's Thursday and Friday's games. We'll get to Saturday tomorrow. Again, I'm just going to give you the roundabouts. The picks will come on class or on the site. Please don't email me with give me a free pick and beg for it. I don't really, not into playing games. I'm not going to give you free picks. You're going to pay for the picks. That's business, right? We're in a business class here. If I'm teaching Austrian economics, that's business. So please don't email me. I don't appreciate it, and I didn't like the tone of these emails, so that's not going to happen again. So you want the picks? $25 pro, 25 college, which I can. Well, again, pros you don't need this week. There's no games until next week, and then the college would be. Starts Thursday. So I would do a class, probably Wednesday night or Thursday afternoon for the two games on the 29th. And then on Friday afternoon for the Friday games and the Saturday games. We'll give you all those. And I'll go through my picks. This is my pick. This is my lock. This is my 10 unit. This is this. I've got scores for all the games. So, like example, I had SMU 48-17. Well, it didn't work, but that was my score on it. That's what I thought would happen. So we'll go through all that. And then you can say, I want to play a 5-team teaser. And if you're in the class, then we'll walk through a 5-team teaser. That's what it is. What is it? Ironic? Hi, Ironic. How are you today? So that's the thing. Otherwise, just go to the site, www.teaserking.com, and just buy the week or buy the month or buy the year. And you'll get all the picks there. And then you don't need to worry. Like, you won't get the class and that. So you won't be able to join the class if you just buy the picks. You'll see me here. But we can communicate on email if you bought the picks. If you're a customer, I don't mind it. But so that's it. So again, let's go through baseball. Cleveland under 8, Philadelphia under 8. Scary. Cleveland in game 2 over 8.5. The Yankees over 9. They've been hitting. Boston over 9. They've been hitting. Minnie under 8. They haven't been hitting. San Diego over 9. And Detroit, the White Sox. Watching the games yesterday, the White Sox. I've seen better Little League teams coach better. I mean, the outfielder, a guy hits the ball, down the right field line. It rolls to the wall, and the guy can't play the ball. He runs too far into the wall, and then the ball kicks out. This is the guy's home park. This is a Chicago guy in Chicago, couldn't get the angle down. And the pitching's terrible. They just throw the ball right down the middle of the plate. So it's pretty pathetic. I'm sure Bobby could hit 500 playing against the White Sox. So that's it. So we covered baseball, NFL, a little college. It's the same theories in college. You're looking for the good defense. So are they an A team, a Z team, an over or an under? So you got your Georgia's obviously the A team. So the best four, Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, and Utah are the best four teams. They really have, I think, the best four quarterbacks and the best defenses. So you got great offense, great defense, pretty good coaching. Except for I'm not crazy about Oregon's coach. He cost him the Washington game. I don't understand why the coaches go for it on 4th and 2 in a big game like they're going to get it. Like if you go for 4th and 2 against Georgia and you think you're going to make that, you're out of your fucking mind. I bet you Georgia hasn't given up a 4th down at all, especially Alabama or LSU. You know, maybe when Joe Burrow was there, but otherwise, you got to be out of your mind to go for a 4th and 2 against Georgia. These analytics are bullshit. It's sort of like inflation is you're looking at the price year over year versus year. So the price of Coke was $2.95 last year and $2.95 this year. Inflation's down. Who says that's the best way to do it? That's not a good way to measure it. Are you fucking kidding me? What do prices have to do year over year? How does that measure you printed too much fucking money and it's worthless? Again, it's the value of the money is what you're fucking around with. All right. So before we go, let's look at gold and see where we're at. Gold's 25.14. It hit 25.12. Again, the U.S. derivatives, 10 o'clock, right on clockwork, 25.25 down to 25. So it went down about $9, spiked back up 25.18, and then down to 25.12, and it gets bought back up to 25.15 roughly. We're fine as long as it's sitting in the 25s. Tomorrow's the options expiration. There will be a heavy drop, and the Chinese are waiting for it, and then it'll shoot right back up. So I think after tomorrow, we're looking for a 2,600 by the end of the week. And then it's supposedly gold season starts in September, where the buying season starts in China because of all the wedding. It's a whole gold season, and look for that to happen. So we're looking for gold 3,000 by October, and gold, I don't know, 5,000 by October 22nd, when Brick says we're going to a gold-backed currency, which has already been reported. The demand for gold is through the roof because you need gold. The central banks need gold. See, that's the reason, right? Not this derivative mess. So that's what you're going to do. Who are these people? I don't like this little con game they're playing. Oh, do you want a job? So I'm looking for jobs, right? Oh, do you want a job? Oh, well, we're going to now hit you up on the one site and then start texting you on WhatsApp. You can't give me a fucking phone call? Like, what is these jobs? Oh, it's a data job and you can make all this money. Yeah, don't know about it. Anyway, so just be careful. These little scams. I'm getting emails where somebody says, this is your last chance to pay this invoice. Who the fuck are you? And if you hit details on the email, you'll see it's Joe Blow from, China or somewhere. Just delete it. Don't go into the link. Don't go into this, see what the invoice is. Then you've just put a virus on your computer. So if you didn't order anything, just delete it. If you did order it, then you'll see it. It'll probably come as a text too, not an email. So all these emails, the little attachments that say, you owe this and you owe that, and we can't ship this. It's all fucking thing. Somebody from the IRS calls, or somebody says you owe on the IRS. That's also a scam. It's ridiculous what these people are trying to do. So you just be careful. Use common sense. Well, I didn't order anything. I don't have this. I don't have that. What the fuck? Who is this? And that, just it's not worth your time. There's nothing in it. So anyway, we'll be back with economics in a little bit. I'm going to the pool. I'm going to have some lunch. And I'm going to go. My foot's bothering me, so I got to go buy castor oil. Castor oil apparently is good for bone spurs, which apparently we all seem to get when we get older. I do too much walking in the pool and at the lake, so my foot's hurting, and I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't eaten anything. Why is my foot hurting me? So it's not broken, but it feels hard. But that's the thing. So the castor oil, supposedly you rub it on like what do you call it? A washcloth, and then just rub it on your foot for like an hour. Just leave it on your foot for an hour. So do it while you're watching TV. I wouldn't do it. I don't know what it smells like. It looks like olive oil. It's just a brown oil, but supposedly amazing healing problem. You can put it on your eyes and get rid of cardiacs and probably clean the vision. The other thing I was told by the doctor, you wear these all the day, and I need them to read, but you take them, like when I'm swimming now, I take it off because you want to look far without your glasses. It strengthens your eyes. Again, this is all new to me. I've had glasses way too long, so my eyes haven't gotten stronger, gotten weaker, because they get dependent on the glass. So when you need it to read, use it, of course. But when you don't need it, like if you need it to drive, I'll wear it. But when you're in the pool, I don't need to read anything except for the clock, so I know when to stop. And that's kind of what you're looking at. So I'm going to eat, and then I'll come back for economics. It's 12:30, probably by 2, maybe 2:30, sometime around then. So I'm trying to break it up. Sports, a little more in the morning. I'm figuring, well, let's do a class now, then eat, then swim, and then come back for because I don't want to do a 3:00 class till 6:00. It's screwing up my eating. So I'm trying to do that. Anyway, have a good day, everybody. Be smart. Think. Use the lessons I give you for everything. Go buy your gold and silver, especially your silver now. Gold's getting expensive, but it's still cheap. 25.20 is cheap when we know it's going to 3,000. And we know from there, once BRICS announces, it's going to be huge. And you got to get out of the dollar, which is even more important. The dollar is like, it's depreciating to zero. Why do you want to hold it? That's your biggest key. Get out of the dollar. Now, if you want to buy a Rolex or a Mantle card instead of the gold, you'll do fine. But you want to get gold because it's money. So you want to get out of the dollar because it's going to zero. So anyway, I talked about that yesterday. I'll talk about it today. I mean, basically, these rich people think, well, if I need gold, I'll just buy it. You won't be able to find it. By the time gold hits 10,000 an ounce, there ain't going to be any gold to find. It's going to be gone. There's going to be the panic and the frenzy to buy it, and you're not going to be able to find it. Silver, you can get now. You'll make a fortune on it because you'll buy it at 30. It's going to hit 1,000 easy. I mean, and this is the point when people say, oh, it'll never go to 100. It shows you how ignorant they are, that they don't understand it's price fixed, that the price fixing will go away, that the demand for real money will be very strong. They don't understand real money. They don't understand derivatives and paper money. They don't understand what gold and silver are. So be careful of these salesmen on YouTube that really, one guy runs a coin shop, so you think he knows about gold. He doesn't know about gold. That's his inventory. He's moving his inventory just like if it was Coke or Pepsi. Does he know anything about that? No. All right. So good luck on baseball today, football. We talked NFL. We talked a little college. We'll go through all the lines in college tomorrow. There's no point in doing it today, but we did look at the games. Always look at the box score. Always look, like the Georgia Tech, Florida State. I looked at the box score. Oogly boogly, terrible. A lot of field goals. Shouldn't have been favored in the game, because last year and this year, but this isn't last year. And that's the biggest important thing you got to do, like week 1 and 2 of college. This isn't last year. I'm giving you last year's stats because I have nothing else to give you. So we can see Florida State, probably have a good defense, not as strong, but they have no offense. So be careful with them. All right, www.teaserking.com, and I will talk to you. I'll be back in a few hours with economics. All right, have a good day, everybody. Be safe, eat healthy, a lot of water. All right, take care.